Hello everybody, this is Jacob Rakowski. I am here in the backyard, just about to go to a dinner appointment with a friend of mine that I've shown the plan to multiple times, haven't seen him in a couple years, and whatever that turns into, it turns into. But a few tips for you guys. Number one, you've got to know when the right time is to share the business with a person. For example, I was at the gym today and I ran into another old friend of mine, and I ended up showing him the video that the amazing Eric and Eloisa created for the trip that we were just on in Mexico. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, are you still doing the coffee business?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Wow, it looks like you guys are doing really well." I said, "Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The trip was amazing." And he said, I said, "What are you doing now for work?" And he said, "I work out in the oil fields." And I said, "Wow, well, you should do both." And he said, "Well, I'm kind of about the fast money." And I said, "Well, you should dig your well before you're thirsty. You should get both going, the kind of the long-term money and the working and trading time for money for yourself." And I could tell he, at the moment, wasn't very, very excited about the opportunity. So instead of sampling him or trying to push further, I'm just going to keep on building a relationship with that person versus blowing out a connection, versus trying to push. Even though there is sometimes a time to push, I could tell by his energy pulling away that I didn't know if it was the right time or not. So the next thing is, my friend that I'm meeting with today obviously knows that I have a business and that it might come up, but I'm not really going for that reason mainly. I'm just going to catch up and look for opportunities to share the business. I'm going to seek if there's a time to share the business. But I've exposed him to the business multiple times. He knows that the business exists, and he's obviously going to ask about it. But, just make good connections with people and be about the relationship, and also set up times to connect and reconnect and catch up with people, and sometimes play the finesse game with getting people started. It might take a little bit more time, but it's worth it sometimes if that's what's needed. One final thing I read today that I want to share with you guys: it's important to choose your goals. It's important to know where you're going and what you want, but you've got to break it down bit by bit. You've got to break it down day by day. Sometimes it's a little bit daunting to focus on the big, massive, overarching purpose and goal of what you're doing. But if you just focus on making every contact count, focus on making every sample count, focus on making every follow-up you're supposed to make, focus on going to that weekly meeting, reading when you're supposed to read every single day for at least 15 minutes, focus on being on every millionaire mentorship call, focus on attending every event, qualifying for every incentive trip, and getting the points that you need. Be a star achiever, be on autoship, all those things. The whole big thing will piece itself together if you just make your minutes count, and then your hours count, and then your days count, and then your weeks count, and then your months count, and then your years count. But it all comes down to making the moment count and making the most out of everything you're presented with at this present moment in time, because you can't do anything in the future, you can't do anything in the past. You only have right now to respond to what's being presented to you. And if you do your very best and act with faith, life will unfold for you, and things will happen perfectly, exactly as you need them to get the results that you're looking for. So I'm off to an appointment. Love you all. Keep it OG. God bless.